Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another webinar. I'm so glad you're willing to come in and be part of this webinar tonight. We're going to talk about builders and killers, the 10 people that are shaping your destiny, whether you know it or not. Oh, do me the extreme honor, please, of sharing this with other people and inviting others to come on and join us. It's a little bit before our start time, but I wanted to come on, at least say hi to some folks as you're coming in today. So come on down and come on in if you wouldn't mind, because we're going to have a good time today. We're going to talk about 5 groups of people or 5 individuals, categories of people that are killing your dream. And we'll talk about the 5 people that you need to build your dream. And so that goes for everybody who's watching, listening. I'm sure you'll be able to resonate with what we're talking about tonight. So come on in, everybody. In the chat section, as you're coming in, just kind of give me a shout out. I'd love to see your name and see who's coming on tonight. I promise I won't embarrass you, but I would love to see who is coming in. So come on down, everybody. Come on in. I was told basically that like Facebook doesn't let you come on too early. And if you're late, like 10 minutes late, they won't let you come on at all. I think that's true for YouTube as well. So, but come on down, everybody. It's gonna be a great evening tonight. I'm psyched. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about. All of that and some. Come on in. Excellent. Come on down. Yep, I see you coming in. Come on, pop on in, everybody. Now, again, I did start a few minutes early. And so if you're watching this and you're coming in, know we're going to get started at the appropriate time. But I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to come on in today. Come on down. Excellent. Getting heads up from, I think it's Facebook, and says that we are live. If you could post in the comment section, if you can hear me okay, that would be great. Thank you for doing that. Come on, we'll post this to the top. And let's see what we got going on here tonight. Excellent. Yep, we are live, as they say. We be live. I see you there, Wendy and Pastor T. Blessings to you, my son Antonio out in Bermuda. Strong, Katina, excellent. Thanks for being in tonight. Listen, we're going to get into this hard, strong, and heavy. I must warn you up front, I'll be unapologetic about what I'm about to say because there are things holding you back from your dreams. And there are things that you need in your life in order so that you can actually accomplish the things for which you have been placed on the earth to do. If you're able to share this, please do so and invite other people to join in. I promise you it won't hurt them at all. It'll help them. Even if people, you're not, all that fond of, invite them anyway, because they may be one of the categories we're talking about tonight. And so I'll be able to say what you may not be able to say to them. Sister Spence, good to have you on tonight. Good to see everybody. Donna, good to have you, my friend. Blessings to everybody. Joanne, good to have you. So come on in, everybody. Let's get down to it. Let's get down in it today. How many of you who are watching, listening right now would say to me, I have a dream that has not come to pass yet? If you fall into that category, I'm not talking about a casual dream. You just kind of want to walk around the block. I'm talking about something pretty significant that you've been either working on or thinking about for a number of years. And you've got that and you really want to see that thing happen, but it hasn't happened yet. If you fall into that category, I want you to type in, I have a dream. Type it in, I have a dream. Come on, hit me up with that. I have a dream. Now you know my webinars are interactive, right? You know we're gonna be together on this thing. So I have a dream, right? Uh, Jamil types in yes. She has a raised hand on that. I have a dream. I have many dreams, huh? Right? I even type my own name in there. How about that? I have a dream. Yeah, I have a dream, right? And that's really part of God's plan, you know, for everyone's life, quite honestly, right? God gives us dreams. A dream is a picture of a future reality. If someone could type that into the chat, I'd appreciate that. A dream is a picture of a future reality, a desired future reality, right? So if you have a dream, the dream we're kind of talking about is a picture of a desired future reality. And every one of us has a dream. Now, you may be saying, I don't have dreams anymore. I've been through too much. Too much has happened. It's too late for me. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm too that. Well, let's stop the madness. I'm going to help you tonight with that because we're going to look through some things that really are hindering you and some things that can really help you really achieve your dream. And as we come through this webinar and at the end, I'm going to be doing a masterclass, if you will, on April 23rd to have unstoppable motivation, and that I want you to be part of. All right, so stay to the end of that. We will not be long tonight, but we will hopefully be very thorough. So let's get down to it, shall we? Let's go. Builders or killers? The 10 people who are determining your destiny. Do you know that people can hinder or they can help? Can I get an amen, somebody? People can either hinder or help you as you move along in life. I think everyone watching can point to at least one person in their life on both sides of that fence. One who has been a hindrance in your life and somebody who's been helpful in your life, right? Can you testify to that, right? There's been to be individuals. And sadly enough, we can really recall the people that have hurt us more than the people that helped us. And it ought not be that way. But I want to tell you a quick story. Many, many, many years ago, I was in elementary school, and I was in a class that kind of housed kids that were kind of acting out, not getting their work done, and so forth. I think it was Cleveland School, I think it was. And a woman by the name of Miss Cheatham appeared at the door. And she had heard all that was going on with me. And she said, give him to me. I know he can do better. I remember that moment like it was yesterday. Now, that's my recollection of it. Miss Cheatham is still living, and she could probably testify a little differently. But I remember those words, that he can do better. And that was powerful. Why? Because she was somebody who we're going to find in the 10 people group here that actually could help and did help me in my life. And after all of that time, here we are today, and multiple degrees later, because of a woman by the name of Miss Cheatham. That's not to say my parents didn't help, because my parents were the number one cheerleaders all the way through. It never crossed my mind I would not have success in my life. And that's largely because of my parents' voice in my ear, right? And so let's get into this. Let's get into this heavy. Let me see what would be the best screen. Let's try that. No, I don't want to try that. We'll try that. How about that? All right, let's go. We manifest who we are. I want you to write that down somewhere, take a screenshot of it, type it in the chat, help other people tonight. We manifest who we are, not who we think we are. Did you hear that? We actually manifest in our life who we are, who we actually believe ourselves to be deep down when the lights are turned off. That is the deal. You need to know that. whatever's manifesting in your life, take it to the bank. Part of that is because of who we actually are and who we believe ourselves to be, not who we think we are on a given day, right? I'm talking about deep down inside, who do I really think I am, right? Who do I believe myself to be is what's actually manifesting in our lives. And so today we're taking full responsibility of who we are and what we're doing, right? That's how we're going to do this tonight. And so I know there could be some but this and but that and this circumstance, that circumstance. I hear you on that. But what I want you to do tonight is I want you to focus squarely on you. Not everything in your life was your fault, but everything is still your responsibility. Let me say that again. Not everything was your fault or is your fault, but everything is your responsibility as it relates to you, right? Could somebody hit me in the chat with that, right? Everything is not my fault, but it is still my responsibility. Everything is not my fault, but it's still my responsibility. I feel like saying that over and over again. Everything wasn't my fault, but it's still my responsibility. Here I am, where I am, with what I have, right? I can blame the world on what didn't happen, what should have happened, what could have happened. But the bottom line is I now have the responsibility or the ability to respond to my situation where I am. And so it's super important that we recognize that tonight and that we don't kick the can down the world and we don't keep blaming everybody, blaming our parents, blaming our society, blaming our church, blaming who dropped me, who left me, who abandoned me, who divorced me, who came in my life, who left my life, who stole from me, who hurt me, who robbed me, right? All of those things, I'm not going to dispute those. Those things may have happened, but the bottom line is here you are, right? Here you are in your world, and blaming ain't going to help nobody right now. At least of all, helping you or me. Right. And so we really want to lock that in tonight. So we manifest who we are. Can I get an amen from somebody? I know this isn't church right now, but an amen will work anyway. Can somebody say amen to that? Right. Now, as we're getting into this, because I'm going to drop to you very quickly five people who are hindering you and 5 people that you need to make sure are in your life to help you. But we got to lock some things in here first. Are you ready? Here we go. Now, order matters. I want you to say that with me out loud, wherever you are. Order matters. Order matters. Order matters. Now, when I say that, this is what I mean by that. We think many times, if I have enough, then I'll do what I want to do. And then I can become who I want to become. Let me say it again. If I have all the support, all the things, all the people, all the money I need, then I'll do the thing that I really want to do. And then I can become this person. But I want you to flip that. My business mentor and friend, Dr. Delatoro McNeil, broke this down for me one day and just changed my mind, man. He changed my mind with this. Because the real deal is we have to become it in order to do it before we can have it. Let me say it again. We have to become it. Like you become that person internally. Then you begin to do from that place of being already in order to have the thing you say you want or need. Isn't that good? Man, that helps me a lot. I mean, over and over again. So focus on becoming versus having. If I become, then I can have. But if you wait on having it before you become it, you're never going to do it. Are you hearing me right now? Sometimes you got to start with nothing other than your dream. But because you are a dreamer, that thing can now manifest. But if you're waiting to have all the resources to begin, all the the comforts and all the accoutrements and all the things that you think you need in order to get started. Before you get started, you're never going to get started. Are you hearing me? Right? So you want to become it, start doing it, and then you're going to have it, whatever the it is. Right? That makes sense. I think that is powerful. I think that is really, 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 really powerful. And in my own life, personal life, as well as my business life, I am working on becoming the person I need to be in order to do, in order to have. I hope you'll do the same thing. Now, it's going to fit into what we're talking about tonight, but I want to make sure we kind of lay that foundation, that framework as we go forward. Now, if you haven't already, please do me the great honor of hitting your share button if you're able to do that. I was told in a previous webinar that people were having difficulty sharing it. I don't know how to resolve that, but I hope you can, in fact, do that yourself tonight. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit it and share it myself one more time. All right, here we go. All right, let's go a little bit further. You ready? Let's go a little bit further. All right, now look who's talking. I just want to give some baseline thoughts in terms of why I'm saying what I'm saying and doing what I'm doing. I help people create an awe-inspired life for themselves and others. My whole deal, my whole framework, my whole DNA, my whole purpose thing is to empower people. I want to see you become your best version of yourself, for yourself and for others. I want you to be able to have an awe-inspired life. When you think about your life, you should be in awe of it. When people look at your life, they should say, my God, look what she's doing. Look who she has become, right? That's what the deal is here. And so that is my whole thing. And when I began to accept that fact, that's how I'm wired, how I'm made, and started leaning into my purpose, things really began to change for me. So I really went from a very discouraged, maybe outwardly having some signs of success, but inwardly questioning and wondering. And when I stepped into understanding who I am, who I have become, I began to do certain things so I could have certain things. I've established or enrolled over 1,500 students across all of my courses. I've published 6 books. I did so in 18 months. I've produced over 1,300 hours of live social media broadcasts. I am a speechwriter and a ghostwriter for book. I write book. I have written a book for an individual as well as speeches for professionals as well as politicians. I've launched a YouTube channel. I've literally mentored world champions in multiple sports. I'm the president of my own consulting firm, Williams Empowerment Group. I mentioned a podcast channel, Motivate Me Today. I've empowered organizations in 12 countries. I've consulted for over 27 businesses. I'm a bishop and a founder of Williams Global Incorporated, and most certainly and most definitely the husband and a father, right? And I can go on about the things when I look back over my life, over the last recent years as well, when I started understanding who I need in my life and who I don't need in my life, I could begin to make some progress. So I wanted you to know that I'm just not making this up. I didn't read it in a book somewhere. These things are live, they are real, and they'll make a difference in your life. And I did say 1,500 students. In one course alone, I had almost 1,000 students. I'm still working on that, 994 the last time I checked. But I want you to know that I'm here for you, and I want you to become the best possible version of yourself and to have an awe-inspired life. Despite where you are, despite what's happening, despite what happened, you can become the person you need to become in order to do and to have what you really want in life. All right, so let's go further here. I've got empowering resources, the Morning Decree Devotional. There's my website. You can check that out. This is my latest offering here. There it is, the book. And of course, Knowing Your Why. is actually a best-selling book according to statistics in terms of selling numbers of books, and like 5,000, 6,000 copies of it already, and has a workbook as well. And you can go to my website and order those things. And even increasingly important is connect with me on my personal community text phone number. That's 401-386-8607. Just text the word empowerment to that number. You'll get connected. And when I send out, which is fairly regularly, videos and morning messages and songs and all kinds of things to empower you and help you so we really can stay connected. All right, let's go. Dream killers. Dream killers are those who are hindering you from becoming. Notice I said earlier, we become, we do, and then we have. In that order, we become, do, and have. Dream killers are individuals who are actually been hindering you from becoming. The one dream killer that I want to talk about right now is the coward. We all have those individuals that are around us, whether we know it or not, and they are cowards. They are in love with you, but they don't love you enough to tell you the truth. Did you hear what I just said? For you and I to become who we need to become in order to do what we got to do, to have what we need to have for ourselves and others, we need individuals who are not cowards, right? So you need a person, at least one person in your life, who will tell you the truth, yes, in love, but they will tell you the truth and also stand up for you. Right? They'll stand up for you. You need somebody who's got some of that backbone, who's not going to sit there and let people dog you out and say nothing and stay in the conversation, right? You need people who are going to stand with you. A coward won't do that, right? That number again is 401-386-8607. All right, 401-386-8607. All right, and you can have those, have that number. All right, you got that? So let's see here. There you go. All right, a coward, right? Somebody just typed that in the chat for me, the word coward. They're killing your dreams. You don't even know it. You don't even know it, and they're killing your dreams because they're not telling you the truth. Have you ever seen someone, and I think it happened to me a few times too, but have you ever seen someone and they're out in the street and they kind of dress a certain kind of way, and you're wondering who let them come out like that, right? I mean, beyond inappropriate, right? Beyond that, just who let them come out like that? You wonder, do they have any friends at all? Did somebody not tell them, right? You need somebody who's not afraid of you, who can tell you the truth, right? And when you say, listen to me, family, when people say, well, they, tell me the truth in love. Yes, in love doesn't mean it's going to sound nice to your ears or sound nice to your emotions. Did you hear what I just said? When someone tells you something in love, that doesn't mean it's going to sound nice to your ears. When the Lord Jesus said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan," or Satan, when he said that, I don't think Peter walked away feeling warm and fuzzy. But you cannot tell me Jesus didn't love Peter. Are you following me, right? So it's important. The coward, you gotta know who's the cowards in your life, not telling you the truth. They let you get into that situation. They didn't say a word. They knew that man wasn't good for you. That woman wasn't good for you. They knew the situation was off and didn't say anything. Didn't say anything, right? They didn't love you, right? You're grown. You're going to do what you need to do anyway. But the people you need in your life are not going to be cowards. Number 2, crazy makers. You don't need crazy makers in your life. Crazy makers are those individuals that have no traceable growth in their own life, and you are worse off after being with them. You walk away, you don't feel empowered, you don't feel like you can you can get it done. You don't feel like you can get your dream together. You don't feel like you can overcome those setbacks with crazy makers. They come into your world, man, and everything's upside down. It's cost you money, cost you time. How many have ever had a crazy maker in their life? Right? I wish I could see some hands right now. Type in me, M-E. Type in me if you've ever had a crazy maker in your life. Right? Just type that in. Right? Come on. And they may be fun at certain times in your life, but at some point, certain people just are not good for you. As one man told me many years ago, he said, just because you brought the girl to the dance doesn't mean you got to dance with her all night. And I think what he was saying, he was from South Texas. I think what he meant by that was, just because somebody's in your life for a season doesn't mean they're going to be in your life forever, right? Just because that was your best friend back in the day doesn't mean you all need to be hanging out every Thursday night at happy hour now, right? They're still on the same corner. They're still doing the same thing. They're still crying over the same stuff. They're still, living with the same situations. You don't need crazy makers in your life. They're hindering you from becoming, right? Who you hang with will determine who you fly with. Somebody needs to write that down. Who you hang with will determine who you fly with, right? And if they don't have any wings, they don't want to have any elevation in their life. You think you're going to have elevation? They're going to be a weight. Some people don't need to be around you. You hear me? Some folk don't need to be around you. You don't need to be around them. You're not good for them. They're not good for you. Am I right about it? Don't be mad. Be glad, okay? All right, number 3, the covert supporter. I'm not talking about somebody, who, has a real famous profile or something. And, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those people who won't own you to others or support you publicly. You don't need those kind of people either, right? They support you to your face, but, on the DL, they're not really pulling for you. They're like, I don't even know you. I had a preacher one time literally say to my face, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking when he said it to me. He was a preacher. He said, I'd invite you to my church, but there's certain people that, just don't, really like you. It's like, what? I thought we're friends. What's the problem? So you won't own me in a public environment, but you want the prophet in me to be your prophet in a pocket. Be aware of individuals who don't know you, who you are in public, right? Beware of those individuals, right? You don't got to be suspicious. You don't got to be paranoid, but just know that, right? They won't own you to others or support you publicly. They don't like what you put on Facebook. They don't support what you do. They don't have a good word for you, right? To others, but they're in your face. How's the song go? Smile in your face, all the while I want to take your place. I think there's a song that goes along with that. Number 4, talking about dream killers now. The chaotic partner. They don't represent who you are. They're out of control. You don't need them in your life just because at certain stage in your life that was the level you were on, but you outgrew that, right? You outgrew that. If you didn't outgrow it, you should have outgrown it. And unfortunately, you outgrew them as well. I'm not talking about your husband or your wife. Don't sit here and say, Jeff said I need to get you out of my life because I outgrew you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about other kind of relationships. They don't represent your brand. They don't represent you, right? There ought to be some common threads that you have with that person and they with you, right? Two can walk together unless there's some agreement, right? And sadly, if you don't have if you have a chaotic partner in your life or in your business, it's going to be out of control and you're going to wonder what happened. I'll tell you what happened. You outgrew them and they hung on to you very as a parasite, if you will, and that's not going to work for you, right? That's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you, right? And number 5, the complainer. My God, help me now on this. The complainer. People who complain all the time in your presence hinder you from becoming the person you need to become. I feel as if I were sitting with each of you individually and talking about your dream. You need individuals around you who are going to be on the positive side of things, not on the negative side of things. A complainer is an individual who, if the sun can be shining, they're going to say it's too much sun in my eyes. When it's raining, they're going to say it's too much rain. When it's a drought going on, they're going to say we need, we really need some rain. How come it never rains? Right? The complainer will say if it's not one thing, it's another. I have a very low tolerance for that, and sadly, as a servant of people, that's not a really good quality. But I've got a very low tolerance for people who are habitually negative. They can't find good anywhere. But when it comes to you personally and your dreams, if you've got a complainer or multiple complainers, I promise you, energy is being siphoned right out of your very body. Air is coming right out of your helium balloons of dreams because your complainer has always got something negative to say. Are you hearing me? Train yourself to be more positive. Train yourself to see the glass full versus half empty. Train yourself to see that, yes, it's raining outside, but it needs rain somewhere, right? Train yourself to think those in those terms. It's going to help you physiologically. It's going to help you emotionally. It's going to help you in every area of your life. People want to be around individuals who are positive, right? Who can see the brighter side of things. I'm not saying there are certain things that just don't suck and they're wrong and off and ugly. That's different when you're calling it like it is, right? But you see it that way. I see it that way. But the difference is I'm going to try to find something positive. Why? Because if I don't, I'm going to be depressed just like you, right? Right? That's not how we want to be, right? So I've had to train myself to think differently. I'm not overlooking the negatives. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm saying I don't have time to dwell on that. Come on, amen. I don't have time to dwell on that at all. This is partly why I do webinars and seminars and conferences and keynote addresses and write books. Why? Because I'm trying to help folks, perhaps just like you, get unstuck, start seeing things differently in your life so you can fulfill your highest and best potential on the planet. That's what I do, right? But I work at that personally. Are you hearing me? I work at that personally. Why? Because, there could be some deep stuff going on. Are you hearing me? Some deep stuff going on. But if you dwell on that, my friend, you'll just want to stay in bed and pull up the covers, right? And ain't nobody got time for that. That's not good English, but it's still true. Ain't nobody got time for that. You got to get up after it. You got to get up after that dream, get up after that vision, get up after that purpose, get up after that thing that you want, the thing that you decide to do, that thing that you really, the person you want to become. You got to get after that. You don't have time for wet blankets, right? Come on now, right? So let's take it back. The coward. You don't need a coward in your life. Crazy maker. No traceable growth. You're worse off when they're around you. Covert supporter. Won't own you publicly. They won't support you publicly either. A chaotic partner, someone who just, their world's out of control, makes your world out of control. And the complainer. These are things and people, types of people that are hindering you from becoming. Now, do we dismiss them? Do we hurt their feelings? Do we curse them out? No, we don't do any of those things. We just need to know, wait a minute, that person is not adding value to me at this point in time. You just got to know that. You got to know who's around you, right? Let's take it further. Now, builders versus the killers of your dream. Builders of your dream help you become. Again, in the beginning, we talked about we have to become, do, and then we have, versus I got to have a bunch of these things, then I'll do some things, and then hopefully I'm going to have some things, right? That's not how we're going to operate. It's not how we're going to flow, right? Builders help you become. Number one, you have to have a champion in your life. They're your number one fan. They believe in you even when you doubt yourself. That is a good one right there. That is a good one right there. These individuals, the champions, are people who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. Let me take it a little deeper. The champion believes in you even when or because they know all of your history. They know the good, the bad, the worse, and the ugly, right? But they're your champion because they believe that you're destined for greatness. They believe you're destined for more. I remember sitting in a chapel service many years ago. The year was 1983, I believe it was. I was sitting there and I was hearing this particular preacher, Dr. Cuddy, or Cootie, as I think it's pronounced, preaching. And he came out of the aisle and he walked down the aisle and he pointed his finger at me. And he said, "You're a man of dignity. You're a man of dignity. You're a man of," he just screamed at me. Dignity and integrity, dignity and integrity. And I don't think I was a person of integrity or dignity at that point in time. But he was championing me because he saw me in a future desired state of being. Everyone needs a champion in their life. I'm pretty positive you probably have them around, but we don't pay much attention to those individuals. Why? Because the negative and the chaotic individuals and the crazy makers are taking up all the oxygen in the room. But the reality is everybody needs a champion. Someone who believes in you, right? Somebody who believes in you. Number two, hopefully you're taking some good notes here. Is this helpful? This is helpful. I want you to type in the word helpful. Type in the word helpful. This is helpful to you tonight. I believe with every fiber of my being that everyone that's watching, listening, could do more, could do it better, could enjoy it more if they stayed focused. Are you hearing me? And I'm trying to push you off the edge of living in yesterday regret and living in impossibility thinking and living in fear and doubt and unbelief and looking at yourself and cursing yourself with your words and your thoughts. Ain't nobody got time for that. Are you hearing me? Right? And so I'm trying to push you in that direction, trying to push you to this next level. And I hope you will allow me that opportunity to do that even tonight and other nights as well. Number two, a challenger. In order for you to become the person that you need to become, you need someone who will push you to be the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself. That may be the champion, but it may not be the champion, right? It may not be the champion. Are you hearing me? But you need a challenger. You need somebody who can look at you, and they're not reading your press clippings and all the accolades, and they're not all enamored by that. They're like, "Yo, I hear you, but there's another level we need to go to." starting from the inside out, from the place of character and integrity, moving forward, right? Or even in your craft or your business or your situations or your home, the challengers will push you. They'll say, well, what about this? The challenger will remind you, but I thought you said, right? I thought you said you wanted to be a businesswoman. I thought you said you were going to do this, right? I thought you said, right? A challenge is going to push you. You need a challenger. And then this whole mindset of, I keep to myself, I don't trust people. Listen, stop the madness. You still need a challenger. You still need a champion in your life. You got to let somebody get in between you and your makeup, you and your mascara, right? You got to let somebody get in there between you and your cologne and tell you the truth about your situation and challenge you and push you to become the best version of yourself, right? The best version of yourself. One individual may be a spouse, but you don't have to have a spouse to have a challenger in your life. And sometimes our spouses, we'll hear that as nagging or nitpicking, when in fact they're challenging us and hopefully challenging us to be the best version of ourselves. Everybody needs a challenger, right? I want you to type that in. Type in the word challenger. Challenger. But this is what I learned recently about myself. And if you know me, you'll probably be laughing because you'll probably say, well, I thought you knew that about yourself a long time ago. But I caught the revelation. I can only help people who want help. I can only challenge individuals who are willing to position themselves for me to do that or give me permission to do that. Right? So if you don't allow certain people to challenge you, you're going to grow up and mature and go from one stage and age to the next, and you will not be the best possible version you could have been because you didn't let somebody challenge you. And by the way, challengers will often feel like sandpaper. Just thought I'd share that with you. Challengers will often feel like sandpaper. Number 3, we're only going to 5 on this one. Number 3, critic. You need someone to it's a little different than a challenger. A critic will actually show you areas that are needing improvement and growth opportunities. They will show you that. Now, critics are not going to be celebrated many times. They're not going to be embraced many times. But listen, at some stage in your life, at least I found, let me rephrase that. I had to get to a point in my life that I had to not only embrace criticism, but look for it. My favorite phrase in this area of thought is, I will not be ignorant all my life. I need someone to tell me that that's off, that's wrong, it didn't look right, didn't smell right, it didn't taste right, right? I want someone to tell me, no, you got the wrong color socks on, that outfit's horrible. We're laughing about it, but I need a critic, right? But you got to give those individuals permission to do that. So if you're gonna be a builder, if you're going to have someone help you build in your life, you've got to allow them to critique areas of your life. No matter how good you think you are, I'm sure you can get 1% better. Again, to quote His Eminence, Dr. Delatore McNeil. Just get 1% better. I need someone to help me just tweak that a bit. Sometimes you got to hire a critic, right? You got to hire someone to come into your life to kind of help in those areas. Number 4, you need a cheerleader. A cheerleader who doesn't mind being on the sideline. A cheerleader knows their role. They can be heard above the voice of the haters. Need a cheerleader. Everybody needs a cheerleader. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, right? Go team, go, right? You need a cheerleader. You need someone who is on Team Jeff. Someone who's on Team Jamil. Someone who's on Team Lisa. Someone who's on Team Donna. Everybody needs a cheerleader. And before you start crying saying you don't have a cheerleader, you might be surprised, who's around you, who'd love to be a cheerleader in your corner, right? You need someone on Team Wendy, someone on Team West, someone on Team Nagla, someone on Team Mother Marilyn, right? Right? Everybody needs somebody who can be a cheerleader for you. That listen to me, loves what you're doing, but not in love with you. Are you hearing me? We're not talking about your bestie. We're not talking about a love interest necessarily, but we are talking about individuals or an individual who's got your back. Doesn't mean you're gonna have dinner over the house all the time. Doesn't mean y'all gonna be hanging out all the time, getting coffee all the time, going out. None of that's necessary for them to be a cheerleader. But you can hear their voice above the voice of the haters. Everybody needs a cheerleader, right? You may not have that in your life right now, but you will, right? Now that we're talking about it, you most certainly will. Number 5, everybody needs a coach. I want you to type that word in for me, please. Type in the word coach. Everyone needs a coach. Shows you how to be better. They're on your side and brings out your full potential. Everyone needs a coach. Now, being in that business is part of Williams Empowerment Group, LLC. Yes, I do. I have coaching clients. I coach individuals. I coach businesses. I coach teams. I coach government, right? That's part of my brand and what I do. But hear me when I say anybody who's famous. I'm not talking about sitcom famous, reality TV famous. I'm not talking about that. Anybody who's really famous, who's accomplished in their area of sport or music or business, even family, right? They have a coach. You may call them a mentor if you'd like, right? But they have a coach. They may not even call them coach or mentor, but they have that person that they look at, they listen to, they follow. Everybody needs a coach. Comes to mind when I think of the golf great Tiger Woods, or I think about the tennis great, the Williams sisters. When I think about various actors, all of them have coaches. If they're still in the game, they have coaches. Basketball players, football, all of them have coaches. Are you hearing me? All of them have coaches. But here you are walking around and you don't have a coach. Right? And you wonder why, right? Your full potential is not surfacing at the rate it could, because everybody needs a coach. Are you hearing me? Everybody needs a coach. Now, coach isn't a person that you're hanging out with all the time. Coach isn't a person necessarily that's over your house for dinner all the time. Sometimes a coach can be virtually. Are you hearing me? Sometimes a coach you're talking to once a month. Sometimes you're texting. Sometimes you're on the phone with them. Sometimes you're meeting with them, right? There's different levels of that, but everyone needs a coach. If you listen to me, if you can't point to that person who is invested in your success, you are living well below your potential. No question about it. Absolutely no question about it. You're not playing the best game you could play. You're not living the best life you can play. You don't have the best relationships that you could have. You don't have the best health that you could have. You don't have, your money's not the where it could be, all because you don't have a coach, and all because you say you can't afford one. Not all coaches cost money. But here's the deal, folks. Can I tell you a secret? We have money for what we really want. We have money for what's important to us. I'm going to let that sit. We have money for what's important to us. Am I right about it? We'll save money for what's really important to us. We will save money for that. We'll save money for clothes, out of the way clothes. We'll save money for certain shoes. We'll save money for a trip. We'll save money for, we'll say we got money. Most of us talking right now got money, are going to have money very shortly, but we not investing in ourselves. One of the webinars I'm going to do maybe later this week is going to be on the number one investment that pays big every time, but no one's talking about. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. I digress, but everyone needs a coach. Type in the word coach. Did I got that? I got the word coach in there. Yes, excellent. Thank you. I see all that. All right. Now, as I mentioned, April 23rd, I'm doing another webinar. It's going to help you never quit again. Never quit again. No matter what your age or stage or phase of life is, this webinar is for you, right? This is a webinar in which you are investing a few dollars in, because people who pay attention. Take that to the bank. People who pay attention, right? If you don't pay, people don't pay attention, right? It's called the Unstoppable Webinar, Motivation Webinar. Defeat the things that are sabotaging you. You'll learn how to manage your emotions. You'll discover who you need to succeed. You'll overcome situations and setbacks. You'll get clear on what you want and why you want it. That last point right there is absolutely the game changer, because you're going to get clear on what you want and why you want it, right? And once you lock in these particular principles, you're never going to walk away from something again unless you decide that it's no longer in my best interest. But many times we have quit because of circumstances, situations, and people. We didn't quit because we didn't think it was good for us. We quit because we got discouraged. We were unmotivated. We procrastinated. We blew it. Am I right about that? Right? How many can look back over your life and realize that in one or two situations you quit when you shouldn't have? If you've ever quit and you know you shouldn't have, type in me. ME. You quit and you know you shouldn't have. Looking back now, why did I do that? Why did I stop? Right? I'm going to help you with that. I just type that in. Let me see. Yeah. Lisa says me, right? Wendy says me. Joanne says me. Yeah. Right? I mean, it's just on the real, right? And thank God we can do it at this stage and age and phase in life. But I got news for you. There are hindrances, there are trouble, there's challenges, there's difficulties. Unless you be able to harness the unstoppable power that's that you're going to find in this webinar, the chances are very high that you will quit again. We'll cover the power of knowing your why. It's going to be a deep dive. It's powerful. It's 3 hours on a Saturday morning. And even if you can't make the webinar, it's going to be recorded just like this one, and you'll have access to it anytime you want, right? It's going to be recorded and given to everybody who signs up. So if you're saying, well, I'm not available on that particular Saturday, that's not a reason not to sign up. So here's the deal. You can pay $70, or you can do a two-pay, $35 when you sign up, and $35 the following week automatically will hit your account, right? Those QR codes are there. The one on the left, Unstoppable Motivation, that is the one pay, and the other one is the two pay, right? And so you can point your camera at that and click the link and take you right there. Kind of like the menus when we go to restaurants these days. That's what that is, right? So it's super simple, super easy, as well as, between now and the weekend, most of us will have spent $35 on coffee and a Danish, right? So it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of whether or not you see value in it and whether or not you're willing to invest in yourself. But most people that I know have stopped pursuing their dream. And so this key of motivation, this deal of motivation is absolutely critical, cannot be underestimated, right? So you can copy the bit.ly link there, the bit.ly, all lowercase, and you can sign up that way, or you can point your phone at the screen and you can get it that way. All right. I'll give you a couple minutes to look at that. Right. So again, as we cover these things, everybody needs a champion. Everyone needs a challenger. Everyone needs a critic, right? Every single solitary person needs a coach. Everyone does, right? Without exception. And part of this webinar is going to provide some coaching, obviously, for you. It won't be like this. It'll be where you'll be able to be on screen if you choose to, where we can interact live from your house, from your car, from your business, from the beach, right? And we can communicate back and forth, and we'll learn from one another, and it will be powerful. It will be powerful, right? And so I want you to sign up for that. At least I hope you do. Now, what I have found, this is what I have found. And so I just want to be very transparent with you. This is what I have found. I have found that many times folks won't want to sign up for the webinar, but they'll want personal coaching or time with me. And I'm honored by that. But you're going to spend that $35 somewhere else. Why not invest it in yourself? You're going to spend that $35 and go to Wendy's or Burger King with it. And then you want to take an hour or two of my life and not invest, right? That doesn't work, family. And for us, as individuals who really need to get our act together at this stage and phase in our life, be willing to invest in yourself. Value yourself enough to invest in yourself. Value yourself enough to invest in yourself, right? Value yourself enough to invest in yourself. And when you do that, you're going to find that everything will change around you, right? Don't treat yourself like a cheap date, right? You're too valuable for that. You've got too much potential and people are counting on you. Let's get it right this time. So please sign up there. Those are the links. If you save this webinar in your Facebook or your YouTube or your LinkedIn, because it's on all of those platforms right now, you can come back to that if you need to. All right. This is where you can stay in contact with me. That's all my information. I would encourage you to take a snapshot of that. So you can capture all of that information, if you will. But the most important, most important thing on that entire list is the personal text community. That's one way I can hopefully encourage you and inspire you on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and also put some of this information in there so you can get that on your phone. All right. Anytime, anywhere. I hope that's helpful to you. All right, my time is up, folks. I promised you I would be in and out tonight. I am so glad you joined me tonight. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for participating. And I hope this has been helpful to you. If you could do one thing for me before you go, I want you to type in somewhere in the chat section. I want you to type in one thing that you learned from this, one thing you took away from this particular webinar. Would you do that? And I want to read a couple of those out real quickly. Just type that in if you can. One thing that you walked away from. One aha moment, one point that was important to you, something that really resonated with you. Maybe it was one of the dream killer points or one of the builder points. Just type that in for me. Sergeant West says we need a critic. Yeah. Nagla says I need a coach. Yeah. Stop being negative. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing that. It's very honest and transparent. It's easy to be negative. It takes a little more energy to defy, those things, right? So, I think Donna's got a list here. Let me see what's going on here. Who I am and who I am becoming. Yeah, it's excellent. Excellent. Yeah, Lisa said I need a coach and a cheerleader. Excellent. Yeah, indeed. I mean, that's the story. And I'm just so glad that you're picking up on some of those things, and you could probably add some of your own points to both of those lists. But hopefully, that was something strong enough for you tonight and meaningful for you tonight. So, thank you for being part of this. Thank you for being on this live, and make sure you're following me and you're setting your notifications when I go live, because I will be doing more of these, as well as the April 23rd, webinar. You don't want to miss that. You do not want to miss that. All right, folks, have a wonderful day. And again, thank you so much for honoring me with your presence and being part of this webinar tonight. Have a good night. Bye now.